Hey guys, my name is Lightbreaker and welcome back to the Coffin Nail. Today I'm delighted to say I'm chatting with Frank from Dutch metal band Cryptosis. Frank, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Good to have you with us. So you guys recently put out your debut album Bionic Swarm, a fucking incredible album if I may say so. And there's a pretty extreme concept to the album. I think that's a good place to start. Can you talk us through the whole idea behind it?
Yeah, well, the whole idea behind it is it's a concept album where we try to incorporate sci-fi, futuristic ideas with the technical and progressive extreme metal.
Nice. And is there a
Yeah.
narrative to the songs?
Yeah, so every song is basically part of a broader concept. So every song is a first person perspective. That describe the year that they're living in. It's 2149. So every person, it's can be human or non-human, and they just describe what they see. How the world is going, and every song is a little bit different topic-wise as well.
Right. And what inspired that?
Yeah, like a lot of metal bands, they typically write about Satanism or the depression or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just the typical things. And for us, we cannot really identify with that kind of stuff ourselves.
Mhm.
So whenever we are on tour or just jamming music, we always talk about this kind of stuff, and that is a topic that really interests us, and it also has really a broad. You can just let your imagination flow very broad, and that for me personally that makes it the most interesting thing, because whatever you can come up with, you can put it in there, and it like the
Absolutely.
history is already written, but the future is unwritten, and you can
Yeah.
fantasize a lot about it.
Yeah, for sure. And who came up with the concept? Do you come up with it together as a band, or is it who writes the lyrics?
Yeah, I came up with the concept, and I write most of the lyrics. Um, then I give them to our singer Lawrence, and he just is going to sit down with the guitar and try to fit it all with the music, and he's playing guitar and singing at the same time. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's really difficult, like some timings that I think of. For me it
Yeah.
sounds easy, but like to do it with the guitar, sometimes it's very difficult. And I think he did a really great job, and
Mm.
sometimes when I see him playing this stuff and singing at the same time, it's almost impossible, the way he does it. And
Yeah.
so sometimes he makes some kind of changes to the lyrics as well that for him, makes more sense, or he thinks, it, it has a stronger meaning, or so. But yeah, I think most of the stuff that we write, I come up with.
Oh, cool. It must be fun to write lyrics that you don't have to worry about singing. It's someone else's job.
Yeah, exactly. But like when we write songs, we also make demos, and so he already records like sounds, not words, but just like made up sounds.
Hmm.
So, for example, I know, okay, this is going to be the first, this is will be the chorus, and based on those sounds and pronunciations, I try to come up with words and yeah, and lyrics that pretty much fit to that to that rhythm,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's a bit different, sometimes it's pretty close.
Hmm.
So
Awesome.
it's more or less like a team effort, but
Yeah.
um,
That's cool. Well, something I love about Lawrence's vocals is his Tom Araya style screams. Do you ever write
yeah.
with that in mind?
Yeah, in the past, we were called Distillator, a different band,
Yeah.
and we did that kind of vocals a lot. But we kind of, yeah, I think got a little bit bored with it.
Yeah.
Doing it so much, and now we just try to do it like every once in a while, so that it's just like great whenever that
Yeah.
moment is there.
Yeah, yeah, it's something I love in Flux Diversions, definitely. I'm glad you bring up Distillator. For those who don't know, Cryptosis is a new incarnation. They've done two previous albums as an old school thrash metal band called Distillator. So, what motivated the change?
Yeah, we just recorded 2 albums. We've been on tour a lot of times with really great bands like Metal Church, Pestilence, Vector, and we played so much in Europe over the years, and we met a lot of also old school thrash metal bands, and for us, when we started writing the second album, we tried to write an album that really fits into the genre, because we already were like playing that style a lot, and but we felt a little bit suffocated because it has to be like this, and the genre is really like bound to certain rules, and so when we started writing this album, we just said like, okay, we're going to forget everything that we did in the past. We're just going to write stuff that we really like ourselves, and that we
Yeah.
really want to play and that we want to hear. And so it doesn't matter if it was becoming a black metal album or whatever, or
Right.
trash or maybe rock and roll. We just wrote stuff that we liked, and Bionic Swarm is what came out of it. And we got the masters from the studio. I think it was February 2020. And then we looked at each other and said like, yeah, like this is so different, and we had really a lot of fun writing this stuff, and we even wanted to experiment a little bit more, but we thought this will be a Distillator album, so
Yeah.
maybe don't do it too much. And we said like, okay, let's change the name and do it now, because we have been talking about that for I think 2 or 3 years already before we
Okay.
actually announce it. And so we said like, okay, let's go for this gamble, and we'll see where it goes. So we gave
Yeah.
a copy to our management, and we said to them like, just show it to your contacts, and maybe some label is interested, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we also said like, okay, don't mention our name, just say it's a
Mm-hmm.
new band. And so we gave them a SoundCloud link, which says
Yeah.
something like no artist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, the pandemic started, so we were like, oh damn, like this is
Yeah.
terrible timing after 2 years of very hard work. And
Of course.
then I think after a week or so, Century Media wrote us a message saying that they really liked this music on this link, and that they wanted to talk about a deal with us. So
Mm-hmm.
like for us, it was like, okay, we have no band name, we have a pandemic, and everything is really negative, and it really sucked at the time. And then we got this email, and for us that was like winning the lottery, like
Yeah. Yeah.
great future, for us, just open up.
Yeah, Century Media are a great label as well, and I had no idea that they didn't know that you were a distillator previously before you were signed. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
maybe they know, but we didn't give them the impression that it was.
Right. And I know what you mean when you say about feeling restricted a little by the genre definitions. So how would you define cryptosis?
Yeah, it's hard, to say like it's a specific genre, because we listen to a lot of different styles ourselves, and in your subconscious, you just pick the best stuff and put them in the songwriting. But I think it's just it's symphonic, progressive, trash, extreme metal, something
Yeah.
like that. Like it's not really trash, but also not really progressive
Mm-hmm.
or symphonic stuff. It's just like a mixture of, everything from Rush to Dimmy Borgir,
Yeah, yeah.
what we like, So
Awesome. And one last thing with the change from Distillator. Do you ever plan to play some of the best Distillator songs during your Cryptosis set, or are you strictly keeping it new material?
yeah, strictly new material, and we had planned a live stream at the end of December
Awesome.
last year, but then one of us got COVID-19 illness, and we had to cancel it. So then we thought like, okay, the album is coming out in a few weeks. We were planning to do a live stream with Cryptosis, so we thought about, okay, let's just call it a day, and
Hmm.
that's
No,
it.
cool. Fair play. But the live stream you guys did last month for the album launch, man, in this last year with COVID, I have watched so many live streams. But honestly, it's one of the best, if not the best, that I've seen. I love the little mini documentary at the start. So tell us about the live stream in general, how you put it together overall, let's say.
Yeah, it was idea that I had. I wanted to bring this to the stage, with video and all these special effects, but with audience. So it's even more impressive, like with a very big screen instead of a backdrop with just a logo. And then, a friend of us who was working with us to do some video clips, him and me, we just, started thinking about it and just, like brainstorming. And then we thought about, making a video clips for every song on the album and release it. But, that seemed to be too much, like a
Yeah.
project too big. But then, the idea stayed, and I thought like, yeah, let's do it, and then, put it, in a live show. And from there on, I worked. He filmed everything, like the band shots, and I did all the rest, like visuals, graphics, sound effects,
Wow.
editing, all that stuff. Yeah.
Excellent, because the production value of it is very obvious. It looks incredible.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I'm a freelance graphic designer, so it's it's my job to do stuff like this.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I have to ask you about Lawrence's mic stand with the helmet. It reminds me of like one of the Centurions from Battlestar Galactica. Who designed that? How did you build that? Never mind, come up with it.
Yeah, it's a funny story. We got an artist here in this town of Enschede, the Netherlands, where we live, and he's like he does a lot of stuff for like dance and like yeah, dance festivals, big
Yeah.
like major festivals. But he's some kind of weird guy, but in a good way,
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to his yeah, workshop, and we said like, yeah, we just looking for custom mic stands. Maybe you can come up with some ideas and
Yeah.
maybe some sketches. And this guy just literally said like, yeah, I don't do sketches. I just work with some materials that are laying around here. And
Wow.
what do you guys want? And yeah, we said like, yeah, we want something futuristic, robot style, or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
this is our team. And I think 1 or 2 weeks later we came back, and these were the things that he had finished. And a friend of us is designing electronics for airports and stuff like that, like really high end stuff. And we had this microphone stand, and we were thinking like, yeah, it's great, but there's something missing. And he said like, yeah, just why don't you make a lightning behind the eyes,
Yeah.
whenever Lawrence is singing, it's a cool effect on stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have any clue about technical stuff, so we said like, yeah, how do you make this stuff?
Yeah,
So
I'm the
yeah, bring
same,
it
man.
to me,
Yeah.
next week, pick it up and it's ready. And after a week we came back, and it worked fantastic. We were like, wow, this is great.
So will you take that on tour when you go back to playing live shows?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Excellent. I'll tell you something interesting I saw in your band bio is that you're credited as bass, backing vocals, and mellotron. And I had forgotten about mellotrons. I hadn't heard them for years. So for those who don't know, can you tell us about what a mellotron is?
Yeah, it's a Mellotron. Looks like something like yeah, a keyboard
Mm.
synthesizer, piano kind of thing. It's tape looped, and it sounds really eerie. You hear it a lot in Beatles records, a lot of
Mm.
60s records, actually, Animals, Rolling Stones, but also in bands like Opeth, Stephen Wilson,
Yeah, of course.
more modern productions, I would say. So yeah, I just found out about it. Like we are a three-piece, so our sound is always like super thin whenever there's a guitar solo or
Mm.
whatever. I try to experiment with a lot of sounds on the bass guitar, like
Yeah.
distortion, textures, or whatever, and it never really did the trick. So then I started playing in a stereo setup, which also didn't work. And then I just, by an incident, I just was browsing YouTube, and I saw Rush, Geddy Lee, doing a lot of pedal work and bass and vocals at the same time. And for me, like I never really liked the Rush as a band because their music is a bit too happy, for me, for my
I
taste.
know what you mean, yeah.
But then I just was intrigued by the way he did all this stuff on stage. And then I got more into the music, and I started liking their music as well. And that got me thinking about, okay, so like it's not only necessary to use distortion more
Mm.
distortion to mask up sound that's not there. And then I ordered a pedal that's electro harmonics,
Mm-hmm.
Mel 9, and that emulates this mellotron sound. So I brought it to the rehearsal space, and the guys in the band they really loved it from the first moment I played it. And like I use it in my stereo setup, and now Lawrence is using a stereo setup as well, just with two angle guitars and caps.
Mm.
Um, but it also gave a lot of creative opportunities in songwriting as well. So that pedal really, I think that pedal really changed the way we think about music, writing music, and also I think it was the change from Distillator to Cryptosis as well, because
Right.
we've used it on the latest split album with Space Chaser.
Mm-hmm.
We did in 2017, 18. But it was really put, to the back in the mix, and I always thought that it was a bit shame, like it's such a cool sound, and it makes a really distinctive sound for our band. And for this next album, I just said like, yeah, let's put it up front and see what happens then.
No, it makes a big difference, and I actually feel kind of smug that you mentioned Opeth because I've been listening to Bionic Swarm for like 2 months or a month and a half, I think. And just today, on one of my, I don't know, 20, 30th listen, I was thinking this does actually remind me of Opeth, like in the intro of Flux Divergence, and it's
Yeah,
that strings in the back. So it's
yeah.
definitely working.
Yeah, it's great. For us, also with the three piece, it really fills up the whole space. And a lot of guys that do interviews with us, they always ask like, "Yeah, you guys are a five-piece band, right?" And we're like, "No, never been more than three."
Yeah.
So
No, that's awesome, man. I can
it
hear you're
really
a bit. You on?
sorry.
I can hear you're busy as well. You're playing sometimes full power chords on the bass.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Most of the time,
It's a
yeah.
huge sound. Now, unfortunately, your tour this year with Vector has had to be cancelled, but you did put out a split EP with them at the start of the year. Can you tell about your relationship with Vector, how you guys met, and are there plans to reschedule that tour, which is what I'm really hoping for?
Yes, the tour will be rescheduled to 2022.
Mm-hmm.
We are sharing the same management and booking agency, so they're
Cool.
planning it, and so it definitely will happen.
Yeah.
We met these guys in 2015 when we were touring with them as Distillator. They were, I think, the first European tour that they did. Um,
Cool.
so we got along very well, also with the guys of Angelus Apatria from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was a really great tour, and like for us, it was the first time that we went on a European nightliner tour as well. So for us, it was a big tour.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met these guys, and after the tour, we always stayed in contact with Facebook, messaging, Instagram, whatever. And also with some band members leaving, we still have contact with them. And maybe David, he went through a quite kind of a dark period in his life, with some
Right.
stuff happening, and he came back from that, and he got new band members, a new drummer, a new bass player, and he started just like writing new music. And we were talking about it on Facebook Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I got the idea of doing like let's do something together, like release a single, or maybe try to
Yeah.
do a tour again or whatever. So we are at the same agency, and I just talked this idea with our manager, and I said like, yeah, what, like David and me, we have this idea of doing something. We got this new band, they got this new music coming up. And so I think the EP was scheduled for October
Mm-hmm.
2020, but it got pushed back, all the time because various reasons. And so it was a bit of a shitty timing, that it was released in February, just like a month prior to the album. But
Yeah.
yeah, initially it should have been released at the end of 2020. So that would have been better for us maybe. But it's a very much of a pleasure to be sharing a vinyl, like with one of our
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
metal bands. Yeah.
Not for sure. Because I got to be honest, I sort of I didn't stop liking thrash metal, but I stopped keeping up until about a year ago, and I started listening to Vector, Stamina, Havoc, Ectomorph, and now discovering Cryptosis, my latest thrash or thrash adjacent band, and I can't wait
Cool.
to hear more. So obviously, as we said, that tour is cancelled. In the meantime, are you guys writing new material? What's the plan going forward?
Yeah, we are just, yeah, we had this live stream prediction, like 2 weeks ago. So that was like crazy times for us in our personal, like in our personal lives as well, because there was
Yeah.
so much stuff that we had to prepare for that. But like now we got like we have like 2 weeks of resting time, and we just starting to pick up the instruments again and started working on new music. We're doing some cover videos with a few friends from the Dutch and German metal scene.
Nice.
Just to keep ourselves a little bit busy.
Yeah, yeah. It's very important. Well, and the live stream is on YouTube now where people can go watch it. Will it be staying up there for a set period of time or indefinitely?
I think it will be there for a limited time, but Central Media is going to release a slightly edited version on their channel as well in the near future, and that will stay there forever. So it
Cool.
definitely, if you just browse Cryptosis Live, you
Mhm.
will see it.
Yeah, it's an incredible live stream. So, guys, if you haven't watched that already, as soon as this video is finished for you guys on YouTube, go look at that. I also think it's really cool that you had a donate button for the crew during the setup. That was really cool.
Yeah, but it's for us, of course,
Yeah,
as well.
of course, for everyone. But no, it was awesome. So, new album Bionic Swarm out now by Cryptosis. Check out the live stream on YouTube. And Frank, thanks so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lewis.
Thanks, man. Hey guys, thanks very much for watching. It's YouTube, you know the drill. Be sure to like and subscribe to get a notification about the next interview, because you never know who it might be. I don't know who it's going to be. Could be Scott Stapp. Could be someone good. But like and subscribe, and there'll be a new interview every second week. Better still, you can listen to the Coffin Nail live on Keith FM. That's KEITHFEM.com, 6 p.m. every second Friday. And also, you can listen back to full episodes on mixcloud.com/Lightbreaker. And I'll chat to you guys again soon. Have a good one.